Okay, here we go. You guys ready to listen to this?
This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy.
Man, what a fucking retard. Oh my God.
So it sounds to me, Nick, that Governor Tim Walz is saying that you and others that are out there trying to expose this, you know, you're doing it because you're white supremacists. What is your response to him?
Yeah, Tim wants votes. There are entire apartment complexes where white people have been pushed out of these apartment complexes because Somalians have taken over and they're inside of these towns.
There's like wait, what?
Entire apartment complexes where white people have been pushed out of these apartment complexes because Somalians have taken over.
Of course.
And they're inside of these towns like Minneapolis, where they can go get votes from these people. And if you have 100,000 people that will vote for you because you're going to enable and let this stuff happen, and because you're going to call a white person racist for calling out facts, this is what's going to happen to a state like Minnesota. Minnesotans, they say Minnesota nice, but they are very upset. And I fully understand why they're upset.
Yeah, I bet they
don't have a governor who's actually...
He thinks he can dodge this by throwing away buzzwords? Yeah, like it's white supremacy that people want scammers deported. Yeah, sure, man.
Working for them. He's actually working against them.
Nick, your video's been viewed 93 million times. What do you think will be the result of this? Do you think that things will change because of bringing attention to this, or do you think it'll be much the same, swept under the rug and keep moving forward?
Yeah, there better be change. People are demanding it. The investigations have been launched just from that video alone. And so there better be change because, like I said, we work way too hard to be paying taxes. We work way too hard to be not knowing where our money's going. And at the end of the day, the people in the government, they work for us. We don't work for them. And so it's their responsibility to hold these people accountable.
You don't work for the government. You work for the Somalians.
Accountable. And so if there's not something that's happened, people are going to be very frustrated. And so if President Trump's watching this, it's time to really get down to nitty gritty and to make a difference in this place of Minnesota that's absolutely pretty much like Somaliland right now.
Yep.
We're a state of immigrants that values that. We have more refugees
I can see that.
per capita than any other state.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's not just morally a good thing.
It's not a morally good thing. Why is it a morally good thing to have a bunch of refugees? Who decided that? I don't agree with that. I think that's ridiculous.
It's our economic and cultural future. This beautiful diverse...
Thank God we can have our culture replaced by immigrants from Somalia that don't speak English. That's amazing. Thank God. And this is it. It's funny to say that, like, anytime that somebody talks about, oh, wow, there's like a demographic change or something like that, they say it's like a white supremacy theory. Meanwhile, here's Tim Walz explaining it happening. He's literally he's saying it right out there.
We see out in Worthington when I'm there, you see 50 languages spoken in the school, and you see...
How is that a good thing? 50 languages was a punishment from God in the Old Testament for people building the Tower of Babel too high to get to heaven. You're literally looking at an Old Testament punishment from a vengeful God on a fallen world, and you're saying that it's a good thing. Is this fat, bald retard serious? Oh my God. 50 languages? That sounds like chaos. Can you imagine that?
Every storefront filled with different types of foods, different types of businesses.
I love how this is the prime reason why Americans are okay with immigration, because of food. I can see, Tim, that's the reason why you want the immigrants, is so they can make you more food. Absolutely. I believe you.
Are happening. Minnesota needs to continue to do that. The office of governor can set the tone on that. We're going to continue to need to diversify. We're going to have to put policies in place that make sure we're attracting teachers of color so that...
Why would you do... See, this kind of stuff, like, this is the kind of stuff that as a white person, you should never vote for this guy. This person is trying to systematically disenfranchise you and take you away from things that would be fair. He doesn't want a meritocracy. Why? Because the reason why... So here's the reason. I will explain the actual reason why. The real reason why it happens is because white people don't vote based off of this. And I think that we should start voting like this. I do. I think that we should. The moment that any of these people talk about adding in any sort of systematic advantage, any sort of beneficiary program, anything to benefit a person who is a random ass fucking immigrant, and they're saying, yeah, we need to bring these people in here, why should I vote for a candidate that wants to systematically disenfranchise me? Absolutely not. And any self-respecting white person should never vote for this. It is insane. If they want to, and the problem is that there are so many white people that are consumed by white guilt because of Hitler or because of slavery or because of Jim Crow, and all of these things are bad, but they have one thing in common. I didn't do any of them. So whenever I have to hear that, oh my God, this is some terrible fucking thing that happened, and so now I have to live my whole life, basically, a step behind where these other people get advantages, absolutely not. No way. And so really the reason why he does this is because white people don't take offense to it. And I think that we need to start taking offense to it. I absolutely think so. The idea that we can have somebody come on television and say that it's a good thing that I, as a white person, am disenfranchised systematically by a system, that way we can have more teachers that are a different skin color than me, that are coming over from another fucking country so they can replace me and my jobs, absolutely fucking not. And I think that everybody should be making this decision. Why would I ever make that decision for even a second? They'll just claim white tears. Claim it all you want. I still don't think you call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it being racist. You call it a Nazi. You call it whatever you want. I'm still not going to vote for it. It doesn't matter what word you put on it. Who gives a shit about the word? So yes, and this is the problem. It's that white people have. I think that really it's that. I don't think they really care enough. I think that's the main reason. They just kind of let this stuff happen to them.
Students of color have someone that they understand, look like, think like, see like in front of them.
Yeah, so here we go. So let's import a bunch of immigrants and a bunch of random third worlders. And now because we have all these third worlders in the country, now we have to also create incentive programs to make other third worlders teach the third worlders that we imported in. Here, I've got a great solution that's going to solve this whole problem. They all go back. That's my solution. They're all going back. I don't give a shit. I don't want to deal with this. Get rid of every single one of these people that are net negative taxpayers need to be sent back to their country. I don't care if they're citizens or not. It's crazy that people put up with this. And I don't think that people, here's what's crazy. I don't think that people realize the amount of rot that this creates. This makes traffic worse. It makes getting a job worse. It makes going to the emergency room worse. It makes doing any sort of, getting any sort of federal system, it makes it worse. These people massively jam up the system because they're filing fake shit. They're filing things wrong. They're not actually, they're not even supposed to be filing them in a lot of cases. I don't think you guys can understand all of the second and third order effects that bringing in this massive population that's very clearly not assimilated and very clearly not willing to assimilate, they're not even trying to assimilate, into the country without causing problems. Just like a fat activist that lowers wages as well. It does. And the only, and I think this is really important to keep in mind, is that the only people that truly benefit from mass migration and bringing in these third world immigrants that are net negative taxpayers and are basically parasites on the American taxpayer, the true people who benefit from that are the top 1%. The top 1% are totally insulated from any of these bad things. Like for me, for example, right? I'm a rich guy. I've got a lot of money. My life will, unless one of them runs me over with a car because they got a free driver's license without having to take a test, which that happens too. But let's assume that doesn't happen. If one of these people, I'm never going to have to deal with these people, basically. I'm never going to have to worry about it. I'm never going to have to be like, oh my God, like this is some kind of massive issue. Because I'm never going to have to see them. I don't have to see them. I don't have to deal with them. And so the consequences of illegal immigration for me are zero. It never affects me. It doesn't, like, it's not going to affect my job. Like, if anything, illegal immigration is good for me because it means that the stocks that I own and the investments that I have, these companies are indirectly or directly benefiting from illegal immigration, and I make more money because of that. My stock goes up. So really, and maybe these people are doing like menial tasks, like, you know, a lot of them obviously do like, you know, fucking home cleaning, and they do like gardening work and construction and landscaping, because these are easy physical jobs that require relatively no skill. Construction requires a lot of skill, but being directed by somebody for doing more menial things doesn't necessarily, like mowing a lawn. So the fact is that roofing's a bit harder to do, but either way, my point is that that's the main thing that people like that. Dinky, 150 subs. Holy shit. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, guys. Never gift if you don't if you don't can't afford it or anything like that. Never feel like you guys got a gift, all right? I'm totally fine, completely financially stable. I'm okay. But I really do appreciate it. Yeah, another 150. Holy shit. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, make sure. Hopefully it's not a stolen credit card, right? I'll tell you that. Hopefully it's not one of those. So yeah, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, thank you very much. Shout out in the chat. W's in the chat for Dinky. Yeah, thank you very much, man. And so I think really that is the main issue more than anything else. And so really, if you have those people that are doing this, they're the ones that are really benefiting. The 1% are the only people that truly benefit from this mass migration. Nobody else benefits at all.
As well as other students. We are doing it in Minnesota. We're a state of immigrants that...
Yeah, white people need to stop voting for people that are going to disenfranchise them and their children. I can't imagine voting for somebody that wants to put your child at a disadvantage because of the color of their skin. It's really, I mean, it's like the ultimate cuck behavior. It's like a generational hereditary cucking that not only are you putting up for yourself, you're also signing your kids up to be cucked by this for their whole life as well. Isn't that embarrassing? It's actually evil. It is. It absolutely is. And I think that there needs to be more social pressure against people that do that. It's straight up racist. Yeah, it's straight up racist. And you have so many white people that have been taught to hate themselves that they think that they're not being racist by hating themselves. How does immigration make your stock go up? Well, it's really simple. So basically, the way it works is that at a very low level, a lot of companies rely on illegal aliens because they exploit and utilize their labor and they undercut American wages. And because of that, they're able to produce cheaper products and go to market and make more money and make more profit. So when instead of making $3 on something, you're making $4 on something, that basically through the pipeline makes the company make more money. It's pretty simple. Like, yeah, there it is. No benefits for illegals. Yeah, exactly. The company saves tons of money on illegals. Because you think about, so here's the thing is that, like, let's say an illegal and you are getting paid the same amount of money, okay? And you do twice as good of a job as that illegal. Like, you're a way better worker than they are. You still, the employee doesn't have to worry about, they don't have to worry about workers' comp. They don't have to worry about health insurance. They don't have to worry about Social Security. They don't have to worry about, you know, dealing with like in a lot of other payroll things. They don't have to worry about liability. They don't have to worry about any of this stuff. So all of the extra things and extra costs of an employee, because this is one of the things that a lot of people that don't understand business are confused about, because I think they just don't understand it or know it. But the main thing that they're confused about and don't understand is the fact that a lot of these times, these businesses, you're not just paying them the money like their payroll, right? That the cost of a business and the cost of the cost of an employee is not simply their payroll. There is like an entire apparatus that maintains that employee's employment. And whether that is managers, other payment processors. Do you guys know, like, for a lot of the payroll systems in businesses, you have to pay monthly to access to payroll systems. So basically, they're kind of like Adobe Photoshop, and these are for professional licenses for different types of payroll accounting systems. It's extremely common. So you're adding in all of this stuff, accounting talk. No, I'm being serious, right? And like all of this comes together: insurance, liability, benefits, 401k, fucking Social Security, everything, right? There's so much of this. I don't know if this is a photo shoot or not, My expectations for this are extremely low. But Homeland Security Investigations, ICE, are on the ground in Minneapolis right now conducting a massive investigation on childcare and other rampant fraud. More is coming.
No. Provided the ransom, this is the location, this is where everybody comes.
Okay. Are there any subcontractors or anything you guys deal with? Like, say like other businesses that you partner with that you.
I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they don't have it in them. I don't think they have it in them. I believe it when I see it. I believe it. Yeah, I believe it when I see it.
Used for a service maybe.
They're not. I don't want another photo shoot and another video and another Pokemon compilation.
Awesome. And
I want them in the Pokedex.
The receipt of those documents.
I don't want the theme song. I want the end song.
Provided the ransom, this is the location.
They don't, but cat's out of the bag? No, not really. Looks staged as fuck. I don't know. And, yeah, as non-American, voting without identification seems incredibly retarded. Anybody who can't get identification to vote is a fucking retard and they should never vote. Straight up. Like, if you're 85 years old and you can't figure out how to get an ID, you're gonna be dead anyway pretty soon. I don't want you making decisions. That's it. Now, if you're 85 and you can get an ID, go ahead. But, like, if you're too fucking stupid and decrepit to get an ID, I don't want you voting. I don't. I'm sorry. Like, there's 50 ways that you can get an ID. You can get it mailed to you. You can have human services help you. There are social workers that can come out and do this. This is not even, it's not even something I would even for a second consider. If you can't get, like, basically, okay, I'm going to make a Venn diagram. This is a Venn diagram between people who can't get an ID and people who are fucking retarded. Okay, this is the Venn diagram. All right. Well, do you guys see the problem here? You see the issue here? This is somebody from Somalia. There we go.
Only Americans who's concerned with the Somali business is the ones who have no life. They don't have.
Okay. Yeah, sure. All right. I guess I don't have a life.
They have a lot of time in their hand.
Yeah, of course we have. Yeah.
And they broke.
Sure.
They don't have no money. No.
That's the whole. Yes, duh. That's the whole point, dumbass. What do you mean? Yeah, they're mad because they don't have any fucking money. Yes, that's the reason why they're mad. You're putting it together. Duh.
No ambition, nothing. They're not even. They don't even have hobbies. They depressed. They lonely. You know, it's always those type of people who care about situations like this. You know, people who have something going on for their life, right? They're busy.
Anybody who pays attention to me is mentally ill. Anybody who disagrees with me is depressed. Anybody who notices me doing something wrong is doing something wrong by noticing. I don't know what kind of, like, brain-dead third world logic this is, but it's retarded.
Their career, their family, they taking vacation, they're enjoying their life. You know?
Yeah.
They're not concerned with the Somalians in Minneapolis.
Well, I think this is actually, he does make kind of a revealing point, and he is right about this. And I think that there's an element to this that's very true, that the main groups of people that are angry about this are the ones who are on the edge of society and the people who have been marginalized by society and by the country because of these systems. So what I think has happened is that you do have a lot of these people that they don't have a lot of income, they don't have a lot of resources, they don't have a lot of other stuff going on because they've been isolated and disenfranchised and basically had their country stolen from them systematically by not really, and this is the funny thing is that I don't really direct a lot of real animosity towards the Somalians themselves. I'm just like, yeah, guys, you've got to go. Like, this is, yeah, we can't have you here. You got to go back home. Like, I'm not angry at them. I'm angry at the Americans that let it happen. Those are the ones that I'm really mad at, because these people are simply just acting in best interest. Of course they're going to come to America. Of course they're going to try to improve their lives. Of course they're going to do this. And yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, like, it's bad. You shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, sure. But, like, the people that I really view as the traitors, the ones that are the people that I think really need to be punished, are the Americans. Those are the ones that I truly hate. I don't hate the Somalians. I hate the Americans that created the system to make this happen in the first place. They are the real enemies. This guy is just simply a symptom. He's not the disease.
Shut up. Only people you will see who's worrying about this is not even racist. They just broke.
Yep.
They just don't have anything going on. They're broken.
What would you do if you were in their place? Then you should at least understand why they do it. That doesn't make it right. Yeah, I understand why people steal things out of Walmart, but you can't let people steal things out of Walmart. Like, I mean, it's pretty simple.
It's not even racist. They just broke. They just don't have anything going on. They're broken.
Exactly. He's completely right. That these people are broke, they don't have anything going on, and so they're angry that they see people that are Somalian that have nice new cars, that are able to afford houses, that have these businesses that are getting $1 million loans, while this person is living paycheck to paycheck, not able to qualify for food stamps because they make $37,000 instead of $35,000, and so they lose $1,000 a month. That's what happens.
Spiritually, physically, and financially. That's what it is. They don't have any.
Yeah.
Only Americans who's concerned.
Yeah, no, he's right, actually. He's right that a lot of the people that are angry about this are people that are disenfranchised. Yeah, they're disenfranchised, and they're in bad, like, financial situations in a lot of these cases. I think that's actually true. Whose side is this guy even taking? Well, I mean, I wonder, right? But, like, it's very obvious. But I don't think this is really, like, I'm not a big one for trying to, like, defend this. I think, yeah, it's true. He's speaking for you, little buddy? Yeah, maybe. So just accept his smugness. I don't care about him. I mean, if he's part of the scam, then he needs to go back, right? I mean, like, I don't, like, this isn't, for me, it's not, like, with these people, it's not personal. It's just not. It's not personal to me. I see why they're doing it. I would do it if I were them. I understand it. Sure, you want to come over here. The place where you lived is a shithole. You're over here. It's a different culture. Yeah, you don't want to assimilate, but, you know, you just want to do what you want to do. Yeah, it's not personal to me. Now, it is personal with the Americans that do it. Now, those are the ones that I have 99% of my animosity is towards the Americans that enable this. It's towards people like Tim Walz. I don't care about him. Who gives a shit about this guy? It doesn't matter. But it's the people that let it happen. That's it. Chat's retarded and thinks you're on his side. Yeah, and this is what happens a lot. Whenever you explain why somebody does something, you are often assumed to be a person who is enabling it, or you're agreeing with it. Yeah, Minnesota's Department of Children announces the Quality Learning Center has been closed. So, let's use a little bit of logic here, okay? If they just announced that it was closed, then there was something clearly wrong, right? So if they, and this is the thing, so why would you have closed it if there was nothing wrong with it in the first place? So by them doing this, I feel like it's kind of an admission that, yeah, the fraud was happening. They're hiding, yeah, they're going to reopen it to edumacation system. Or sorry, it's going to be the edumacation center instead of the learning center now. And they're going to rename it to that. Well, probably they already have, because this was already a half hour ago. So the paperwork's probably already been processed and automatically approved. This isn't enough. They closed it and that'll be it. Well, I don't know about that. I think they need to go even farther. You're right. Are there going to be so many memes about this guy that by the time that he runs for president, nobody even knows what he looks like? Like, maybe that's something that he should do, is that he should never do any more interviews in person, so nobody actually knows what he looks like, and everybody just thinks that this is him. Yeah, never make public appearances or anything like that. We'll just assume this is J.D. Vance.
Following Nick Shirley's reporting in Minnesota, Hassan and him have been going back and forth on Twitter. A matchup of the ages to end 2025. Hassan tweeted yesterday at 11 a.m. I don't know what kind of fraud Somalis in daycares are doing, but I think it's a separate crime to try and storm with a camera into a daycare with kids in it. Shirley responded by saying, haha, you would say something stupid like this.
It's so stupid.
Nick won.
And I think that, by the way, this is the way that you have to engage people like Hassan. Because to the extent that you engage with their arguments, you validate their arguments. When, in fact, these aren't even arguments. These are just random accusations and lies.
Ratio off here by almost
there's no actual
order
argument.
of 5-1. Hassan then quote tweeted himself saying, bleak future of all media with this photo. I think that's from a movie. That's Jake Gyllenhaal, I believe.
Yes.
Vigilante content that can be weaponized for radicalized / white nativist agitprop. I don't know. I'm sorry if I said that word wrong, agitprop. Everyone's going to behave like the fake pedo hunters. On top of responding to Hassan's original tweet, Nick quote tweeted him saying,
oh, bro, like he's getting cooked.
People like this commie literally
shock
their dogs and complain about America 24/7. And when someone actually leaves their room to do something, wait for it, they then defend the criminals. Hassan responded by saying, I traveled around the world and went to numerous protests, but since I wasn't trying to storm childcare facilities with a camera crew screaming, show me the children now.
See, this is the reason why Hassan keeps failing and losing relevance. The reason why is because he constantly just lies to his audience. And so what you do with that is you distill your audience down to the most extreme, most radical, most deranged, most mentally ill group. And those people now become your boss. Because instead of having normal takes and talking about things like, affordable housing, paying for homes, you're out here trying to defend Somali scams. So that's the main issue that he has. And this is why... and he's worked his ass off, and it's all been for nothing. Really, it's been absolutely for nothing. It's achieved and accomplished nothing. And the reason why is because you're just lying. If you weren't lying and making bullshit up, you'd probably be a lot more effective.
It doesn't count. There's a proper way to conduct a thorough investigation, and you botched it for clickbait. Hassan also quote tweeted
the thing is, like, Hassan is doing the appeal to authority. Like, oh, you need a thorough investigation. If a thorough investigation would have worked or would have happened, then it would have already happened in the years that this was a problem. Again, it's just, it's more lying. It's always just lying.
A tweet involving Nick Shirley when he met with the mayor of Gaza and said he made the most Israel video demanding to see children in all these facilities. And when they wouldn't let him in, that was enough evidence of fraud. There was, of course, going to be criticism of Nick Shirley's video that he posted.
He made the most Israel video ever. Hassan's lying has basically hurt all of his causes. If he cares about something, he'd be best if he didn't talk about it. I think that he engages in such bad faith argumentation that even people that are on his side, basically grow to hate him. Because he pushes these things. He'll say, like, this is the most Israel video ever. He's storming in, demanding to see the children. Like, we all watched the video. Everybody knew that wasn't happening. But it's all of this, like, radical, alarmist, extremist language that's just totally misleading. And so this is the reason why you can't really have a conversation with somebody like Hassan. It's because you can't even agree on reality. You're redefining basic terms. You're not even looking, you're looking at the same thing and you're seeing something totally different.
On Friday night. The main criticism is that he was trying to storm into a daycare, which is fine, but the video is 42 minutes long. It's not just the daycare.
Well, it was also a medical place, and it's very obvious that that's not what was happening. If he was trying to storm into the daycare, he would have gotten into the daycare. He clearly wasn't trying to storm into the daycare.
Wager that I don't think Hassan has watched it in full. Same with a lot of the people that have been criticizing it. Other criticism has been that it was filmed over Christmas break, which...
It's filmed over Christmas break. It's so stupid, it's insane.
Somalians are typically Muslim, not Catholic or Christian.
Yeah, they're not even celebrating Christmas.
They may not be taking Christmas break, but let's say it was a state-mandated thing. We can see in the video that Nick was there during a Tuesday, and in the background is 42 degrees. And we can assume that this was either Tuesday, December 23rd, which would be 2 days before Christmas, or Tuesday, December 16th. You can look up historical weather. Tuesday, December 23rd, it did not get above 32 degrees. But on Tuesday, December 16th, you can see it got just above 40 degrees during the afternoon, around
which is when he would have recorded and interacted with this person. So the same temperature that it was at, yeah, I mean, he was there on the 16th, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious that he was.
42, so we can assume this was December.
Another day, another lie? Well, yeah, this takes like 3 seconds to figure out.
16th, 9 days before Christmas. This will continue on, I'm sure. Now, Nick should be careful. Just like Hassan has to be, not because Hassan is going to.
Yeah, what is this here? Do you really think Hassan isn't doing well, though? I think he's doing well financially. I think that he's building an audience, but I think that he's also destroying an audience. That's the reason why he's been losing followers. And he's had the politician interview lately. Those puff pieces, aren't those good signs? I think that it was great that he had Ro Khanna on, and I thought that was a good thing, and it was good for him to do that. But really, whenever you have like articles written about you by like a newspaper, like that doesn't matter. Who cares about that? There's plenty of people that get pushed by newspapers all the time, and they don't really have any real motion or any actual clout. These are mainly just like legacy institutions that don't actually have any impact or any pull with anybody. It's like, unless you're in a nursing home, these people don't really matter.
Injure Nick more so because of the fact that there's a lot of crazies out there and they could blame him for things. So, you know, I think he's already mentioned that and he's going to be safe, but he goes out there just by himself. He needs to invest in a bodyguard.
He did. Yeah, he did. So many audience just watch them react to video instead of watching a video. Well, because they want to have that take, right? I mean, that's the reason why they want to have the take. I mean, that's clearly the reason why. And also, like, here's another thing too, is that a lot of these different organizations, and I didn't even really know this before, but it looks like Somalia. Oh, here's another one.
Demanding to see children that are not yours at a daycare so you can record them is a level of pedophilia that has yet to be talked about.
This retarded hog actually thinks that people are going to buy into the pedophilia thing. That he's a pedo because of this. Is he a pedo because he went into the medical centers too? Like, Jesus Christ. What do you do with something like this? Yeah, oh my God. And anyway, so yes, there's been even more of these that have been going on too. And let's see. No, it's not this one. Where is it? I see if I can find it. Yeah, this is from 2018. 2018.
Order for the scheme to work, the daycare centers need to sign up low-income families that qualify for child care assistance funding. These surveillance videos are from a case prosecuted by Hennepin County. They show parents checking their kids into a center only to leave with them a few minutes later. Sometimes no children would show up. But either way, the center would bill the state for a full day of child care. This video from that same case shows a man handing out envelopes of what are believed to be kickback payments to parents who are in on the fraud.
Every single one of them needs to go back. Every single one. Denaturalize and deport. You gotta go.
Where was the money going?
I don't know exactly where it went.
Well, now we do. It went to Somalian terrorists. And this is 2000, and I don't know really what year this is. The Quality Learning Center was investigated more than a dozen times.
I started by visiting Quality Learning Center Daycare.
So it is that 14B.
Which sits right in the heart of downtown Minneapolis. Between 2019 and 2023, the Minnesota Department of Human Services found 95 violations at this location.
95 violations. That's insane. This was 1 year ago? Yeah. And I want you guys to see this, that like all of the arguments and the deflections that they're making are just so pathetically embarrassing that I really think that they're hurting their credibility long-term by doing this. Why should we pay for their travel expenses to go back home and spend their loot, put them in camps? Well, because then you have to feed them in the camps. And like, honestly, I don't even want to deal. I don't want to deal with shooting them. I don't want to deal with making them in work camps. I just want to say, hey guys, the jig's up. You know, you had fun here. You know what you did. I know what you did. We all know what you did. You got to go. That's it. That's what I think you need to do. Yep. And yep, it's time to go home now. All right. Funny. Party up. Party's over, guys. Time to go home. And I do think that we should seize all of their assets. We do. We should take all of their stuff. You're going back home with the shoes on your feet, if you're lucky. Unless they're expensive. Then maybe you get new shoes.
Range from failure to keep hazardous items away from children to no records for 16 children, which include things like immunizations, emergency contacts, and
closing time? Yeah. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That's right.
Medical needs. So state investigators placed Quality Learning Center on a conditional license in 2022.
Oh.
I went to the daycare's location several times.
This looks like a daycare, right? What is this, a daycare for the Crips?
Only once did I see people there. Oh, that's your daycare. But I did not.
This is the same fucking building. Because it was right there. Holy shit.
Not see any children.
So there are 80 kids in there?
There's 80 kids.
No, after school? Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, oh, they're going to be after school. That's what it is.
DHS declined an interview, but in a statement acknowledged Quality Learning Center was put on a conditional license because of its poor safety record.
Absolutely insane that we are paying for these parasites to come over here and siphon our fucking money, and then we're paying for them to have kids, and we have to pay for their fucking kids. Isn't this ridiculous? We have American citizens here that have been citizens, their family's been here for 300 fucking years, and they're paying out the ass for childcare. They're in poverty because of childcare. Meanwhile, these people are coming over and they're scamming it and getting it basically for free. It's insane. Should Minnesota taxpayers be reimbursed for this? Realistically, that's not what's going to happen. There's no money in that, bro? I thought you were smarter. There's no money in this? Well, why is it happening?
But it's still received nearly $8 million in taxpayers' money since 2019. Its conditional status removed in 2024.
I bet. And so there it is. Yeah, what an idiot. No, the people that argue with this are just, they're so dumb. Oh, here's another one. This is a news report from 2018.
Agencies closed Baraka Child Care Center yesterday morning.
Baraka Child Center.
A search warrant. It's one of 10 being investigated for financial. Agencies closed Baraka Child Care Center yesterday morning. While investigators executed a search warrant. It's one of 10 being investigated for financial misconduct of the state's child care assistance program. WCCO's Jennifer Merrily shares where that money would have gone instead.
Nearly 2,400 kids are on the waiting list for Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program. It helps low-income families pay for child care.
Can you believe this? We're importing these people over so they can be low income so we can pay for their kids. It's so ridiculous, I can't even believe it.
Daycares are given money per child. But right now,
you can see the incentive here.
Agencies are investigating financial
so
fraud
obvious, I hate
at
it.
10 different centers, including Baraka Child Care Center in Minneapolis.
So where there's been these totally fraudulent operators and stealing money. And so high time. And they should crack down on more.
At this point, this is every single child care organization in Minnesota do a census. This is ridiculous. Not only do they need to do that, but what do you think the probability is that there aren't a dozen other social systems that these people are also exploiting? Like, I would say the probability of that is 100%. This is for sure happening, guaranteed 100% happening. Absolutely.
Part of the investigation, the BCA and Secret Service spent hours at this home in Columbia Heights, combing through it and collecting evidence. A relative told WCCO.
They are good family, they work hard, that's all.
The raid at Baraka focuses on fraudulent billing of the state assistance program. A child care provider investigations unit formed in 2014 to investigate similar cases has already closed 12 child care centers.
So the latest child care scam has been to have 100 people enrolled, 100 kids enrolled in your program, have 10 show up, bill for the 100.
That happened in
That's exactly what they said in the video. Yeah, it's all I am. Yeah, this is 7 years ago this happened.
Several cases that resulted in a conviction. In one, the criminal complaint reveals investigators set up cameras to capture kids who entered and exited. Over a 2-week period in 2014, the daycare billed for 950 children who did not attend the center.
Absolute fraud. And you know what people do on Twitter is they try to say, oh, well, you were just trying to record kids like you're Epstein or something like this. Like the level of just totally blatant manipulation and lying. It's really almost shocking that somebody would even be willing to do that.
Resulting in $51,000 of fraud just for that time period.
There are people who have severe needs that we can't take care of because there's just not enough money. And
that's right. That's absolutely. That's the entire point. There is not infinite money. Are people actually defending this? There is a group of people defending this. I wouldn't say large group. I don't think there's a large group of people defending this, but I think that there is enough of a group defending this that, like, as I said, I think that the goal for us to do is to make it look so unpopular and so problematic to defend this that the normies will be afraid to defend it, even if it might make them feel good. You have to create a culture where people like this that are trying to like engage in such obvious fraud, dishonesty, and lying, you have to make them afraid. You have to make them afraid, and the way that you do that is you push back against it whenever they start saying any of this stuff or any of this. So go on their tweets, call them fucking retarded, whatever you want to say. I mean, I don't agree with actual harassment, right? But disagree with them, explain that they're wrong, etc. Because once these people realize that they are the minority and they're a fractional tiny minority, a lot of their passive support from, people that think that they're just following social compliance by being okay with this will go away. So the way that you have to change that thing is you have to change the consensus. And it's not about even changing the consensus because we don't need to do that. The consensus is already on our side. We have to change the perception of the consensus. And the way that you do that is you mobilize, you're vocal, you push back against this stuff, and you demonize and vilify everybody that's supporting it. That's what you do. Because they are demons. They're selling you out. They're selling out your country. They're scamming you. They're scamming your family. They're scamming everybody. They're traitors. That's it. Cultural shift is the quickest method to change. Yes, you totally. What's the pro-fraud argument? That he's not a real journalist, that he was trying to record kids because he's a weirdo, and that it was on Christmas break. At what point does it need to make them happen for feel good helping actual Americans? You just have to create a social system where they feel good about it. These people are very simple animals. The moment that they get to feel good about doing something, then they'll just do it. These people will be supporting Hitler and turning in Jews in the 1940s. Okay? Like, this isn't like a... These people they'd be catching runaway slaves and bringing them to your local fucking, sheriff so they can be sent back down to Alabama. These are not these morally good people that would have been helping Harriet Tubman on the Underground Railroad. They would have been helping capture the slaves. That's it. So all you need to do is change the social structure. That's all you have to do. And everything else will fall into place. How the fuck do you ignore fraud this rampant for 8 fucking years? Because they're afraid of going after it because it's racist. That's the reason why.
That money goes out the back.
It's pretty simple.
Investigators haven't released any details about what was found in yesterday's raid. The Office of the Inspector General said it will continue to investigate fraud in the program, saying child care fraud is especially egregious because in addition to exploiting taxpayer money, it harms the families and children.
Whatever happened to that?
Is intended to help.
Yeah, you think Somalians are problems? It's to sound like people that have 10,000 a year? No, I think that you're right. Like the Somalians, I don't really view that. Oh, here we go. Here's somebody.
Sure. So these were funds that were meant to go to help feed hungry people during the COVID pandemic, to help keep people in their homes who were at risk of homelessness. So first of all, if there is fraud there, that should be fully investigated, no matter.
No. The problem is that, and this is what a Karen does. A Karen will always cling to bureaucratic institutions of obfuscation to hide and deflect accountability. They're hiding inside of an infinite Russian nesting doll of layers of red tape, bureaucracy, rules, and different, expectations, systems, quotas, and everything. The reason why they do this is so nobody can ever really be held to a fault. These people do not need to investigate this. If that would have worked, it would have worked 20 years ago when this started.
Or where it is, whether it's in a Democratic-led state, a Republican-led state. I mean, let's pull back.
And also the investigations are used so they can basically kind of pause any sort of immediate action that's taken too. So they effectively, this is the same thing that people accuse the Trump administration of doing with the Epstein investigation, is they said that, well, they're just trying to investigate it again so they can hold off releasing the files and actually doing anything about it. You see, remember this? This was like literally a week ago. This is the reason why they want this, is it's another appeal to bureaucracy.
So absolutely, it should be investigated. The question is, why is this a priority in a different kind of way? The politicization of the DOJ and the FBI is undeniable. So whether they are reliable narrators is the big question. And this is
well, if you really believe that, you wouldn't want an investigation.
This is what happens when you weaponize and politicize federal agencies.
I think we need to weaponize it more. Like, I don't think the problem is weaponization. I think it's that we're not weaponizing it.
That are not meant to be,
we don't do even nearly enough.
And I think the American people are right to ask the question, well, can we trust you? And that's a sad thing to say as an American.
That's been the case for like 50 years. People didn't trust the JFK assassination.
Recall, too, that there's also...
They weaponize the systems? Yes. Never be afraid to use a weapon on a person that would use against you.
Other scandals in other states, for example, the Mississippi welfare scandal. And this is not unique to politics. Americans know that.
Yeah.
But of course, the other factor here is that because it looks like the Somali population in Minnesota, the Somali immigrant population may have been involved in some way.
Yes.
Those people are being scapegoated, and that community.
No, they're the ones doing it.
Is being scapegoated in a way that certainly serves the far right.
There it is, right? And this is the narrative that they try to push forward. And that's it. Would you classify trafficking as child trafficking and the use of children for the purpose of exploitation in various ways? It is a serious crime or violation of human rights. Would this classify as trafficking? Well, I mean, in my opinion, I don't really care what you call it. You just go after them however you can. Holding people accountable equals scapegoating? Well, this is what they do, right? And again, it's very, very common that stuff like this happens. And this is also, by the way, this is in Massachusetts. Look at this. Here we go.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is a nice facility. I am doing a story on Holiday Inns in the area, and I just wanted to ask a few questions.
And I'm going to have to ask that you either stop recording or leave.
Oh, it's by Elliott Human Services. This company I know, they charge $42 per meal from the taxpayer. What do you do for work here?
It's private property, you're trespassing.
Okay. Will you keep saying that?
You're trespassing. As soon as they say you're trespassing, you have to leave or you're arrested.
My name is John Featherston. I'm a former migrant shelter director in Massachusetts. I helped out on a couple different sites. Everything is free. I cannot stress the word everything is free. Everybody has a nice car. Most of them have nice cars.
How do they get these cars?
But when they have a doctor's appointment in Boston, or they have a immigration hearing in New Hampshire, which is an hour and a half away, you think they use their own car? Nope. They say, "Oh, I need an Uber."
Yep. And until here's the thing. This is what I want to do. People like this guy, they are the ones that need to be charged as co-conspirators and as collaborators in these crimes. You have to go after the individual people. You have to go after the security people, the people that are at the desks, the people that process the paperwork. You go absolutely scorched earth, Old Testament, no mercy, no exceptions. You go all the way on it. Lock them up. Yep, lock them up. They shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it.
Is free. Everybody has a nice car. Most of them have nice cars. But when they have a doctor's appointment in Boston, or they have a
I'm just doing my job,
immigration
yep.
hearing in New Hampshire, which is an hour and a half away, you think they use their own car? Nope. They say, "Oh, I need an Uber. I need a Lyft."
How much is given for rides for Uber and Lyft?
The amount of money that we would spend on Ubers and Lyfts was well in excess of $100.
Some kid that's just trying to make their fucking minimum wage. You want me to send it? You want me to bring him up on charges? Yeah, I do. I do. Absolutely. Because it sets an example. It sets an example that is so brutal and so extreme that it will scare the fucking shit out of anybody else that even considers thinking about doing this. Absolutely. I'm not doing it despite the fact that it's brutal. I'm doing it because it's brutal. That's the entire reason why you do it. That's the point. You have to do that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And by the way, if you don't do that, it doesn't work. What if he gives up someone higher? Yeah, then I would be okay with that. If they scapegoat each other, and then, I'd be fine with that.
And Lyft.
The amount of money that we would spend on Ubers and Lyft was well in excess of $100,000.
Ubers and Lyft are $100,000? That's insane. Oh my God.
A month, yeah. As good as Lyft and Uber had it, Amazon had it 10 times better.
Wow.
And how's that? How did Amazon work into this?
Every day I would order tens of thousands of dollars worth of product from Amazon every single day.
Yep.
7 days a
week. Can you see how these fake economic numbers like GDP are being artificially inflated by these, basically entire parasite systems and miniature economies that go into defrauding the taxpayer and reallocating American tax dollars to foreign invaders? Do you see this?
One day I would do a huge diaper delivery, and the next day I would do a formula delivery. The next day I would buy, toothbrushes and hair dryers and combs and strollers, and anything that they needed, they got.
Now, as I continued my way around the shelter, I noticed this school bus.
That is free daycare provided to the shelter.
Wow, that's great. Wow.
Okay, so every day they take the kids to a daycare center?
No, they come there and provide daycare right on site there.
Oh, right on site.
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? As the hotel got overtaken by migrant families, there was not enough capacity, and there were fights breaking out over washers.
They're fighting over washers and dryers. Oh, boy.
Dryers.
Yep.
So the state contracted this company to come in 5 days a week and do everybody's laundry.
So we have the state paying to do their laundry because they keep fighting over the washers and dryers. Wow. That's amazing.
You put your laundry out by 7 o'clock, it's back by 5 o'clock, and it all comes back folded in these nice bags.
That's nice.
And
I
it's
should get
free,
that.
Or the taxpayers of Massachusetts pay for it. And
that's crazy.
The media wants to make it.
If you don't make an example of these people, it'll continue to get worse. It will. It will. And again, I don't have any animosity towards the migrants that are taking advantage of this. I know that might seem odd to you, and if you're angry at them, I can see why. But who I really have my animosity towards are the other Americans and the other citizens here that have sold us out so they can feel good. Those are the real traitors. Like, the migrants are just simply acting in their own best interest. These other people are acting against our best interests. Those are the people that we need to hold accountable.
like most of the residents are escaping, the horrors of Haiti. But they go, well, I was in Chile.
They won't do anything. What does it take for them to actually do something? Here is what I think it needs to happen. I think every single person who is against this needs to tell the Republican Party, because I think they're the ones that are really going to put a stop to this, if anybody does, that if you don't deliver results and you don't have a actionable plan that is already, if you haven't already deported at least half of these people by the time the 2028 election happens, stay home. You're going to lose. Because the moment that I think random voters think that it's okay, well, you know what? Yeah, it's pretty bad, but that's okay. It's okay that it's bad because, the other way would be worse. Do not allow yourself to be trapped in between ping-ponging between the lesser of two evils as you slowly lose more and more of your self-respect and your dignity. Another bad take like yesterday? Absolutely not. I am an accelerationist. I think that if the Republicans refuse to take decisive, direct, and extreme action, then we should let the Democrats win and let them take over and continue making things worse until the public realizes that the decisive, direct, and extreme action is necessary. That's what I think we should do. Let it burn down. Let it burn down until people realize that there's a fire. It'll never happen. It will. Why should you pay taxes anymore? I don't like this. Why don't I like this idea? So lose it all in one go? Yes. Yes, absolutely. And let me explain why. Because they play on your fear. They play on your fear of the unknown. They play on your fear of the uncertainty of any sort of, it could get a little bit better. It could be 1% better. And then it'll get 10% worse, and then it'll get 1% better, then 10% worse, then 1% better. No, that won't work. Of course it'll work. And also, even if it won't work, here's the best way to look at it. What is the incentive for them to do what you want if they've already got your vote? Really, think about that logically. Why should they do something that you want them to do if you're already going to vote for them? Logically, the only other way for them to get any other votes is for them to appeal to people that are doing things that you don't want. See, you don't understand. A lot of people don't understand leverage. This is the only leverage that we really have, is just not voting. And unless you're willing to let it burn down, you will lose. And I will give you an example. The Democrats, I think, successfully did this. They did. They successfully did this with the Israel-Palestine-Gaza conflict. The overwhelming majority of Democrat senators have openly and very plainly moved away from supporting Israel, and they have moved directly in the direction of Palestine. And one of the reasons why is because a lot of Democratic voters stayed home in 2024 because Kamala Harris would not condemn Israel. It worked. And they'll win in 2026? Exactly. And do you know why? Because it got worse for them. You don't think voting's already been compromised? Well, LMAO, yeah, that's the reason. Yeah, it's a big reason. Yeah, it was. Pull me up? Sure. Pull me up. Get the fuck out of here. Shut up. Shut up. You're fucking annoying. You're fucking annoying. You want me like, oh wow, please, like let give me attention. I need my special attention. No, Why don't you call the fucking day? It's not gonna happen. I don't believe in the don't vote method. I feel like that just gives more power to the people that will vote no matter what. I don't know what you mean by that.
For 10 years after the the earthquake in Haiti, you're like, what? So you didn't leave Haiti like this year? No, I left 10 years ago and I went to Chile. And then they made us work. So then we went to Brazil, and we were content in Brazil. And then I'm like, well, why'd you come to America? Well, we came to America because Joe Biden told us everything was free.
Oh, that's pretty easy. Yeah, how about that? So yeah, and Polak got what he wanted. Yeah, he did, and that's why it's called. Yeah, and do you think Kamala what do you think Kamala would have done as president? Probably just more the same of what Biden did, right? I mean, that's generally what I would assume more than anything else. We're gonna find this. Oh, there are 539 child care centers in Washington State that list Somali as their primary language. Many don't even give a street address. Oh man, how about that, guys? Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, no, it's happening everywhere. It's not like it's in one place. It's everywhere this is happening in. I mean, do you really think that Minnesota has, like, is there something in the water that makes people scammers there? There's over 4K daycares in Boston. That's not the point of not voting. If you aren't going to get the vote, you're going to lose and do better. It gets when you do your vote. Stop blindly voting for people who aren't going to change anything. Yeah, I don't think that's what they should do either. What's the end game of not voting? The end game of not voting is to create a situation where people that know that they're going to be able to, that people feel like they have to perform actions and they have to do what you want in order for you to vote for them. The end goal of that is to make the people that you would vote for do what you want. And unless you're willing to sacrifice a lot, they won't really do that because it's hard to do. It's annoying. Having to explain this is crazy. Yeah, you need the leverage. That'll never happen. Of course it'll happen. Absolutely. It's very easy to do this. The thing is, you don't need to convince 52% of America to do this, or 51%. You need to convince 3%. Elections are usually won by like a few million people. It's not like Trump blew Kamala Harris out and it was like a fucking, 80% Trump. No, it was like 52 or 53%, right? Something like that, 51%. So you don't need to change a massive amount of people. You just need to change enough people to change the outcome of the election. A lot of people didn't vote. Yeah, exactly. No more free votes. Yeah, no more free votes. I like that. That's a good idea. Or are people willingly fuck themselves over just to make a point when they have a lot of problems? Not a very reasonable argument. Because a lot of problems that they have are because they wouldn't fuck themselves over earlier, and they chose the lesser of two evils so many times that it manifested a greater evil. That's the reason why. That's why we're in such debt. Yep. That's right, fake ballots. Toss out the other side's ballots into ditches again. Well, then there's no point in voting anyway. Either way, there's no point in voting. Don't you think the segment of Democrats who didn't vote were the more extreme voters, though? The normies will still vote for the lesser of two evils? Yeah, of course. That's why I was saying you don't need to... you of course you're not going to change everybody's mind. Of course not. In Minnesota, voters can vouch for 8 other people. Yeah, I know that. I know, it's so ridiculous. Enough people will never wake up to realize the simple fact that we have the power of the government to work for us. We just need an organized system to keep the hamster wheel up. Yeah, I agree with you. I totally do. So cut off the finger to save an arm? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm saying. And if you don't cut off the finger to save the arm, the finger will slowly rot the arm and the rest of the body. That's what happens. Eventually, you do have to make a decision. So 539 childcare centers that are Somalian as primary language. I'm sure all of these are going to happen. What is this here? Bro, shut the fuck up. You're literally rich. You can afford for America to fall apart. You are no different than a white liberal with security housing voting to defund the police. Okay, sure. I mean, if you disagree with that and you want to see that and you think that voting for J.D. Vance is going to make things better and it's going to improve your life, then go ahead and do it. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it's just going to be a slow rot, and you're going to look back 5 or 10 years from now, and you're going to think to yourself, wow, all I did by voting is make my life worse. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, and again, you can make that decision yourself. Charged 98 individuals in relation to fraud in Minnesota. More than 60 have pled guilty or have been convicted. More to come. This is over time. There's no way you did all of this in 24 or 48 hours. This is bullshit. I wouldn't take it seriously.